Unnecessary intro song to totally waste your time. So I've been spending way too much time rubbernecking these riots and protests. And let me just say, they're dorky. Okay? They're dorky. They're nerdy. They're silly. They're stupid. Even the mean riot ones, you know, where the cops are all standing out there and the people are lighting shit on fire. It's dorky. It's cosplay. It's childish. It's it's dumber than sports. It's like sports meets Halloween meets really weak, gross people. They're just gross people. You just watch these protests and it's just like gross person after gross person after gross person. You know? It's like you're pretending to be warriors. It's like you're either going to be a warrior or you're not. Either you're going to take up arms and you're going to be violent and you're going to fight a war and you're going to actually take what you want, be it freedom or somebody else's property or somebody else's life or whatever the fuck is in your stupid little brain. You're either going to be brave enough and ballsy enough and evil enough to do it or you're not. But your stupid sign shows that you have no artistic talent. You have no aesthetic talent. That's, I mean, that's the sad part about it, is it's like, it's all just pathetic. It's this big display of, I don't know, delusion. It's like, okay, kids, you're not going to overthrow the government with your little signs and your magic marker and your garage sale printing and your bad penmanship and your terrible acronyms. You know? Like, how many times have I seen MAGA spelled MAGA, mediocre ass Gates, what was the other one? Asshole or something? It's like, they're all so bad. And even in my feed, like San Francisco people, I was there, I went out. It's like, you did? You went to the dumbest parade in the whole world? That's what you did? And what happened? Did you convert anybody? Is there a single person in the world who is watching these No Kings protesters with their stupid signs, their stupid T-shirts, their stupid haircuts, their stupid opinions, their stupid loud sirens, their noisemakers? Is anybody going, yeah, I want to be part of that. That's what I needed. Now that you put it that way, I'm going to join your group. No. Well, I mean, obviously somebody does. That's the insane thing, is there are enough retarded people that they go, I want to go, oh man, just the saggy tits, so many saggy boobs and just out of shape people. I mean, it really is the argument that they should have kept the asylums going is compelling when you look at these protests, because these people, the way they shout and they don't let you say anything and they don't have anything intelligent to say. I mean, the bright spots of these, I guess, journalists, I mean, I say bright spots. I mean, again, I'm rubbernecking, I'm watching, so obviously I'm appreciating the people that are out there filming in some way. But I don't know. It's not productive. I'm not proud of the fact that I'm watching this shit. It's definitely rubbernecking. It's definitely looking at an accident, you know, staring at your own turd before you flush it, you know? There's nothing high-minded or valuable about it. It's looking at people at the lowest, least effective state, you know? And the chanting. Oh, the chanting. There's nothing about a protest that appeals to me, you know? And I don't care. It's the other side too. You know, people invited me to go to Stop the Steal in Washington. Glad I didn't. I probably would have ended up in prison and pardoned by Donald Trump. But I had no interest in going. I didn't even think of going because I had no interest. Because, first of all, group activities, ugh. Even as a concert promoter, I didn't want to be out with the crowd. I preferred being backstage, you know, sitting in a room counting the money or, you know, snacking on the craft services, maybe talking to one of the opening bands. But, oh, and the big outdoors, it's even worse. I've gone to some of these things, you know. I've gone to Harley Street. I've been to lots of outdoor festivals. Let's just put it that way. And you kind of have to drag me to them. I'll go if a friend's performing, you know. But I can't say that I ever look forward to it and I ever really enjoyed it. I've always thought this is a sacrifice you make for just having friends, you know. You have to go to their events. Like, but as far as protesting, like, I don't care what side you're on. Like, I remember in COVID, I was posting up like a storm, trying to tell people don't take the shot. It's all fake. From February on, I was getting banned and thrown in Facebook jail for saying stuff. But other friends of mine were trying to stage protests and go out and do things. And I was just like, okay, more power to you. But what's it really going to do about me and a group of people going into a grocery store and screaming at people? I mean, when you break it down, it has to be fun for you. It either has to be fun for you or don't do it, because it's not moving the dial at all. These things don't move the dial. I don't care what they say about the 60s and all that shit. That's not what really moved the dial. What really moved the dial is dead bodies. Okay? Too many dead bodies. That's what moved the dial. Not painting a stupid thing on your chest and running around with a whistle. That's not what does it. I don't care how many people you have in the street. If they have a bunch of stupid signs and they're not actually being violent and they're not actually taking over for real, you know, it's like, okay, I get it. You're going to take over the federal building, but are you really? Because you didn't show up with guns. And you're not going to do it without it. Okay? So either you show up with guns and you start a war and you get dealt with on that level, or you're just fucking being a dork. A dork, I tell you. And I felt that way about, I don't know. I felt in charge watching January 6th, you know, like, because it almost did feel like doing something, but there was still, in my mind, I was going, but they didn't bring guns. It's not a real thing. It's not a real thing. It's just dorky fucking theater kid shit. I remember one time my friend Will Franken, I don't know if I can call him a friend. I consider him to be a friend, but he's a comedian who, to me, is really underrated. But he moved to, he's an Anglophile, so he moved to London. He's been doing his comedy there. Just he's a really against the grain. You talk about contrarian. He's like a contrarian. He's a thoughtful contrarian. He's not a reactionary contrarian. It's not just purposeful. He knows why he's a contrarian. He knows why he's against everybody. Anyway, he's super smart, but he's also a performer, and he's a comedian. And these are, I don't know. I've never met a comedian who wasn't a broken person or really a performer. Really, if you're a performer, something fucked up. You didn't get love somewhere along the line. I'm speaking for myself here too. There's some void you're filling. Something happened to you where the normal people don't have the need to perform, to put on the clown suit, to go out and stand out, So Will, I liked him, and we were getting along, and I wanted to hang out with comedians. I was trying to hang out with comedians because, I've had my moments of being funny. I was a theater kid too, and while I never did stand-up, I did a lot of theater, and I did a lot of emceeing and a lot of stuff where I was just one guy in a microphone entertaining a crowd. Sunday school teacher. Teaching Sunday school, by the way, it's just stand-up. That's what you're doing. You're doing stand-up, you're doing stand-up comedy, plus stand-up dramedy, trying to make people cry. And I'm really good at the making people cry thing. I don't know why. I'm just super... That part. And I can do the laugh thing sometimes too. Like I have moments where if I get on a roll and if I have people's attention, I can do it. So I've always admired the stand-up comics. Anyway, but so I was hanging around with stand-up comics here. My friend Bridget introduced me to Will, and then Will and I became friends. Actually, somebody hired me to do pictures for Will because Will had some kind of development deal with HBO or Showtime or something, or they were trying to get him one. And they hired me to do his photographs, and I think we might have been friends before that because I think Bridget introduced me to him. Anyway, we started becoming chummy, and I really kind of wanted to. I'm not saying this just to be nice. He really has got an amazing brain. Like it's a crazy, silly, amazing brain. I know that a lot of people don't agree with me. I tried to take friends to his shows and thought, you got to see my friend Will. He's a genius fucking comedian. And I remember one time I took one of my roommates to him, and I watched my roommate at his show, and my roommate was falling asleep. And I was like, what the fuck? How are you falling asleep at Will Franken's show? And I was just angry with him. I was just like, Anyway, I digress. But anyway, so Will and I became friends. We talked about doing some scripts together, doing some shows together. I had some ideas about how, he had kind of performance art aspects to his stand-up, and I thought, I wanted to do this comedian thing where it was a woman in a burqa in the beekeeper outfit, and she would do jokes, and her husband would come with and sit on the front row. But I wanted to be the woman in the burqa telling jokes that would get me killed in Islam, but have the Islamic male just sitting there watching me. So anyway, good dynamic, basically like a hostage video. Anyway, we worked on ideas, and I really enjoyed it. He is a bit manic and a bit nuts, and what do you expect from that kind of a brain, But he wanted me to go. Tukey Williams was this murderer who murdered a bunch of people in cold blood. Really, I looked into it. I don't remember all the details, but it's like a 7-Eleven kind of murder where really pretty gruesome, heartless, cold murders. And they were putting him to death over on, what's the fucking island over here? What's the prison? The prison over there on the other side of the bay. Can't remember what it's called. But a bunch of leftists were getting together and wanting to protest his execution, trying to save him and hoping the governor gave him a reprieve. But Will wanted to go over there and do an them protest. And I was just like, oh, really? Okay, I'll go. Just because I'm going with Will Franken. And if anything else, he'll be performing. And so we went and we walked up and down the street, and he was being Will Franken, causing confrontations with people. And I was just kind of like going, oh, God, I don't want to be here. This is not fun. I was trying to have fun, but it wasn't fun. And even though Will was a world-class performer, he's not a world-class performer in that venue. If you don't have a microphone and you don't have a spotlight and people aren't pointed towards you with their chairs pointed towards you, it's a whole different thing. And it's just fucking dorky. What else can I say? It's dorky. It's desperate, it's delusional, it's pathetic. It's just the idea of I've kind of felt this way about Halloween too. It's like Halloween, I've participated in Halloween, don't get me wrong. But my costumes have been they've either been costumes that win prizes and money, such as my upside down lady that was stolen and went around the world. Anyway, I won't get into that. Or it's just a funny thing like Mormon with a boner. That was a costume I did once. Dressed up like a missionary and had a boner. Funny, haha. Mormon with boner, that's my costume. But yeah, it's just this weird, desperate. I remember one time I had this sign that I wore around my neck. This is close to protest. This is what I mean. This is as close as I get to the protester environment. On Halloween, I just dressed like myself and wore a sign around my neck that said, I always look like this, douchebag. Something like that. That was my costume. Confrontational, not friendly, not making the party a better place. That's me. In a nutshell. But yeah, I don't want to go. I don't understand why people want to go. What's in their mind? I guess I go way back. I remember when I got disillusioned with group activities, like the power of the people. It was in 1976, the bicentennial of the United States of America. Okay, and now I guess we're hitting 250 now, right? But, so 50 years ago, next year, right? I was 10 years old, and it was a big deal. Everybody told me the bicentennial, they made a different quarter. Everything was bicentennial. Flags everywhere. I got swept away in the patriotism as a 10-year-old kid. I thought, this is great. And I was listening to the radio, and I don't know, I felt like I had my own transistor radio. It felt really independent. I can listen to it. I don't have to go in the TV room with everybody else in the family, and I can just go off on my corner and I can listen to whatever radio station I want to. So I was listening to the radio station on July 4th, and there was going to be this thing, and they were saying, okay, at the stroke of noon, everybody's going to honk their horns, and it's going to be this loud, wonderful celebration of 200 years of America. And, I thought, this is going to be fucking amazing. Hands Across America before Hands Across America, right? I thought, this is going to be fantastic. I'm so ready for this. And I'm thinking of just the joy and the jubilation of just... I was imagining hearing car horns and noises coming all the way from Wyoming to Utah, I got ready, I was like, what am I going to do to make my noise? So I grabbed some pans and some pots and pans from the kitchen, and I waited to noon. I had my little transistor, and the DJ counted down. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I ran out of my front door and I started banging my pots and stuff. And guess what? Nobody else did it. Like, nobody. I was just this deranged little 10-year-old in the front yard banging a banging a pot with a spoon, you know? And I was like, what the fuck? How is nobody else doing that? I was listening. I was trying to use my bionic ear to listen to see if anybody, there wasn't a peep, nothing. And I was like, fuck that shit, you know? Fuck this organized Jubilee protests nonsense. Anyway, I don't know. It doesn't matter what side. I got friends here in San Francisco they're just supposedly on my side, and they get raring to go, and they want to go, you know, confront the confronters, and there's a certain aspect that you want to do that, but to me it's just visceral. Like if I'm gonna go to one of these things and be the anti-protester, I had a hat made that said that's in the style of the MAGA hat. I always want to say MAGA hot. It says, "Cry harder, commie. Fuck." Yeah, that's what it is. Cry harder, commie, fuck. And I got it just because I could. I thought of it, and I ordered it, but I haven't worn it anywhere. I watch these videos of these guys that go to the Tesla protests with MAGA hats on, and I like watching the insanity of the people. It's like zombies plus rest homes, you know, boomers, hippie boomers. Ugh, oh God. All these gross old ladies with no bras on, just their saggy bodies and their stupid signs and their stupid things. Is Nazi, you're a Nazi, Nazi. Just yelling and screaming over and over again in there. So there is this visceral thing where you just kind of, in a weird way, want to get in there and just be I don't know, the subject, the target, you know? It's almost perverse, you know? Not sexual perverse or anything, just weird that you want to get in there. And I think that's what these people are doing. It's a weird, unhealthy derangement where it's just this tribal, weird, I don't know, man, but you think of, even when you say tribal, you kind of want to go back to Indians on the plains or Nordic Vikings, strong, you know, able-bodied, doing war cries, literally to be followed up by putting a spear in somebody's eye, you know, and ripping out their heart and eating it while it's beating, you know? War, real war. But instead, you know, and that's the drive, you know? But in reality, it's just you wearing a stupid fucking hat, being yelled at by some old lady wearing a stupid fucking outfit. And she smells like milk, you know? Sour milk and patchouli. I don't know, man. It's just, it's almost sad because when you pair it with, you know, I mean, the part that's sad also is when you're watching the cops who have all this gear on and they have the ability to just shoot somebody right in the face, you know, and kill them. But they've been told not to. They can't do it. So they have to sit there and they're all their protective gear. They have to put on all their pads because they don't want to get hurt. They want to go home. And they have to engage in this performative shit. And you know they want to kick somebody in the face. I mean, I do. When I'm watching this shit, I'm wanting, I see a kid lighting the thing on fire and I'm hoping that a bullet whizzes through his head and I get to watch it because I'm a sick person, I shouldn't want to watch that, but I do, you know. I actually would like to see some of these protesters get run over. When I see them blocking a car and scaring some little Mexican lady that's just trying to drive to her job, I want her to put her foot to the floor and drag 10 of them 15 miles down the street. Just leave a long stripe of a bloody protester. But nobody ever does that. They don't ever do that. Every once in a while, you'll see something like that. Like you saw it in Charlottesville. And you'd think you'd see it more, honestly. Don't get me started with that Charlottesville shit. I watched those videos over and over and over again. And what happened is the guy got surrounded. He got surrounded, and they started pounding on his window, and they started breaking his window. And what did he do? He floored it, as any reasonable person should do. When the zombies are approaching your vehicle from the rear, from the front, from any side, and they have sticks, and they're shouting and they're screaming, "No Trump, no KKK, no fascist USA," your job is to hit the gas and get the fuck out of there and hope you drag one of them under your vehicle for 4 blocks. Just kidding. I don't think that way. I want everybody to just go home and be happy. No, it's cosplay. It's sad. It's pathetic. It's gross. It's weird. It's like, why? And I hate using the word distraction, but what is it? Circus and bread? What's the saying? It feels like that. It's like, go out there and protest. The Democrats, go protest, make your voice heard. Really? No. How about this? Let people arm themselves, stay home, and take care of your shit. You don't need to make a funny sign. You don't need to wear a wacky outfit. You don't need to put a rainbow coming out of your butthole. Stay home. Use the technology available to you. And if somebody breaks down your door, you blast them in the face. And you protect your loved ones. And you protect your property. And until then, and that's kind of what I think is really happening with people. I was watching, right before I made this recording, I was watching Brandon Straka, the Walk Away campaign. He had an event that was in West Hollywood. He's a gay guy. And the Walk Away campaign is getting lefties to walk away. But the ironic thing is, walking away would be, you don't go to the protest. That's a leftist kind of attitude. In other words, he can't get rid of that. He still wants the performative thing, and he's pretty good at it, by the way. His videos of when he shows up and interviews protesters are pretty good. He asks funny questions. He's good at it, But it's fucking gay, okay? He's standing down there, and you see these two sides. You see 50 fucking MAGA people walk away, and 100 fucking screaming retards, woke retards, And it's just stupid. It's just stupid. It's the worst theater you can get in the world, but at the same time, how can you not rubberneck it? You have to. Because it's pathetic. It's like the pathetic nature of it is what makes it so compelling. I mean, when it comes down to it, it's just like the bless your heart quotient goes through the roof. It's just like, oh, you poor people. Look at you. Look at you. Look what you've done to yourself. Anyway, I'm no better than any of these people. That's my official position, just in case you wondered. I'm just a normal guy watching the world go nuts. Missiles falling in Iran and Israel. Got a friend that's been texting me. She's in Israel, texting me from her bomb shelter. And, she's a friend, but even then I feel like she's trying to get me to post about it and take a position and be like, we must stand with Israel. No, Amy, you must move back to San Francisco and quit acting like you have anything to do with fucking Israel just because you're Jewish. You don't. You don't. You weren't raised there. You were raised in San Francisco. Leave the fucking Jew shit alone. Leave the tribal shit alone. And don't try to get me wrapped up in your tribal shit. I don't care about your tribe. I barely care about you. You're a pain in my ass. Anyway, I'm a bad person. Thanks for listening. Unnecessary outro song to totally waste